Okay, so if you were curious why I'm changing these brake pads, this is the reason. Using all male stuff, Molly, however you want to pronounce it, I don't care. Whatever you like to pronounce it with, that's how you can pronounce it. We have a ZF trans pan filter and all that good stuff. We have Redline D4 ATF. It's maintenance time for the X5. We have oil change and fuel filter here. We're going to be using the Liquid Moly Top Tech 4600 5W30. It meets the BMW Long Life 04 recommendations. We're going to be using a factory male filter, a male fuel filter. And for back here, what we're doing, they didn't have the Akebono rears, so we went with Bosch rears for right now because they desperately need to be replaced. So we have the Bosch rear pads, the Quiet Cast, and we have the Akebono Euro Platinum, Ultra Platinum, excuse me, front pads and two Techstar brake sensors. And we're going to go ahead and do brakes as well. Here's my ZF trans filter back here. We're waiting on fluid before we can go ahead and change that bad boy for the trans filter. And we are ready to dump oil in this girl right here. So what we are using is the Liquid Moly 4600 Top Tech 5W30. Stuff's supposed to be really, really good. I used to use another X5, the 4200, I believe is what I used to use actually. We went with the 4200 just because it's what they had. And a lot of guys on the forum were also running it. FCP offers it. So, hey, you know, I have a World Pack account. Just order everything through World Pack. Going to go ahead and do a first crank. Got to prime the fuel system after replacing the fuel filter. Let me tell you, I hope I never have to do that again. I'm going to order that kit from Bmw Diesel. And we are doing the relocation with the upgraded filter because that thing is a disaster. Let me tell you, that is a disaster. Guy, maybe not even the previous owner, and the little knurls just spun and spun and spun with the 10, so I had to take the Sawzall. I know this sounds horrible, but I had to take Sawzall and cut a little slot in the side so I could take vice grips, clamp down on it, and then tighten and spin any longer. That was quite a disaster. Knocked out. Fuel filter is new. We're using all male stuff. Molly, however you want to pronounce it, I don't care. Whatever you like to pronounce it with, that's how you can pronounce it. Male, Molly, I don't know. So I'm probably not going to film a lot of this. I'm probably just going to dive straight into it, go ahead and knock the fuel filter out while the oil is draining and do all that cool stuff and really go from there on that. I'm super excited to get this stuff done because now I can start my notes, I can know about this stuff, and I can keep a record of it and have quite peace of mind knowing that everything was done and I did it, so I know it was done right, and that's where I'm going with that. I admit, I've been slacking on my personal stuff this week. We've had a bunch of shop stuff I've had to do. We got some SEMA bumpers in the paint booth, super freaking cool, and we've just kind of been busy at the shop. James was off Thursday and Friday this week because he was having his home renovated and he wanted to be there and help with some things and just get that done, so it didn't carry over into next week, which I completely understand. James never asked for off, so I was like, of course, you can have it. But what we have here is the X5. You can see we got some stuff mounted on the top. It's jacked up and everything. I was going to use the lift, but the vet's here and it's really hard to start because of the motor and stuff, and I just don't feel like moving it, honestly. And I really don't need the lift for what I'm trying to do. All we got to do is a brake service and a mechatronic service on the trans. Not that hard, not that hard. I know it may sound hard, but it's really not, guys. So what we got here is this thing jacked up. We have the transfer case brace down. We have a jack under it sitting to hold it up level so that brace can come down because you can't get these two little bolts. I'll drop some pictures here and kind of show you what I'm talking about, but we need to get this done because we have the trans tune on it now. Have like 6 drive cycles on it. It said to do 3 to 4, at least 15 miles before you get on it or do more than 60% throttle. So we've definitely done that. We've taken our time with it, and now it's ready to service the trans. We have all of our fluid, our trans pan, and all of that good stuff about to go in here and just really up the service on this girl. All right, excuse the mud, but if you come up under here, you'll see these guys right here where my finger is. I have to take these 4 bolts out at the back. I barely have room to put my finger, if you could tell. And those little bolts have to come out. To get those bolts out, you have to lower this brace right here. And to lower this brace, it's like 3 bolts on this side, 3 bolts on the other side. We're gonna take this jack it up on the transfer case right here so it holds that into place. So I can take this bar and let this bar come down to get out of my way to take this trans pan down and change it. All right, so fluid is draining in the bottom of the car. You can see right there. While the fluid is draining, I'll show you what we got. We have a ZF trans pan filter and all that good stuff. We have Redline D4 ATF synthetic fluid, 7 quarts of that stuff, 1 trans pan. All this will go in here super smooth. The fluid that came out was actually not bad, not really ruined. I don't know if you can see. I managed to get it all over myself and the floor, but it really wasn't dirty, if that makes any sense. Like, it spilled all over my hand. It wasn't bad. It didn't smell burnt or anything. That's a good sign. I'm super happy it didn't smell weird, didn't feel burnt, didn't have any metal shavings in it or anything. We'll definitely check the bottom of the pan here in a second, but so far so good. I'm super happy about that. The fill plug was tight as heck. Like, dude, it was so tight. I took it on something and pry off of it. It took me a good minute to get that bolt loose and everything, and I almost killed my elbow, but it's fine, we got it off. Makes me also think it's never been done before, so that's not good, not bad. It's not good. But we're changing now, and that's all that matters, because we're going to keep up on the service, keep up on the updates, make sure you take care of this thing. It should take care of us. It's my theory anyway, and it's worked for me so far. So let's dive back into it. All right, here's our new Transpan filter and all that good stuff. There's little magnets to catch all the stuff left over. We have no shavings in the bottom, which is very exciting. You can see the fluid is not even that dirty. It's still a nice little kind of brown color, if that makes sense, still really clear. So that makes me super happy. It's probably been changed sometime in its life, even though I didn't think it had, which is very good. Here we do have a bunch of stuff stuck to this, which is just completely normal. No big shavings, no nothing like that, so that's awesome. This is probably just clutch wear right here from having a tune on it and not the trans tune. So clutches may have been slipping a little bit, but we should be good there. It's my little sheet right here. We have this version, so this will be it. I'm gonna go ahead and put the trans pan on this little sheet right here, and do it in that procedure and go from there. I'm gonna wipe the rest of this off real quick. I'll show you what I'm gonna do. Okay, so here is my transmission, the bottom of it. These are all my little solenoids, Megatronics kit, and all that stuff. Here is like the body of it that has like all the stuff that goes through it. Fluid goes through all these little cracks and crevices and all the good stuff. You were curious what the inside of my transmission looked like. I'm super happy that everything is clean in here. Like I said, there's really not any wear, no shavings anywhere, no nothing that I can see wore out. If you look, I believe those are the clutches right here. Hendel, correct me in my comments. I'm not sure if these are the clutches right in here, but everything looks to be good. I looked it over with the flashlight, and we are all ready to go and put this new pan in. I'm going to take and gently wipe around this seal real quick, make sure there's no contaminants on it before I put the new one up. So we are done under here, but I want to show you guys a few things. So to not have to take this trans brace down and like the whole thing off and lower it down, I did this with a jack and jack stands, by the way. You don't have to have a lift. I have a lift over there, but I just didn't occupy it. To not have to take this down and get to these bolts that are sitting up under here, what I did was loosened all of the bolts, took a jack and held it in place so the transfer case wouldn't fall all the way down. What I did was I have a Crackman 1/4-inch wrench here, and I took a snap-on bit. I know I didn't have anything else. And I cut the top of the bit and welded it to this wrench so it wouldn't fall out. And I made me a little tool to get to this and tighten it and loosen it and get everything out without having to take the trans brace out. Second modification I did here was there's a bolt directly up here to get to this trans brace, and I didn't want to take this all the way out, and I wanted to use ratchet because, you know, speed. So what I did was took and put a hole here and opened it, so that way I get to the bolt in the top of there. It really doesn't look bad. It kind of almost is OEM if you didn't know it was there. It's just a little hole, doesn't affect anything, and that way you can get straight up in there to get this trans brace loose. Okay, so if you were curious why I'm changing these brake pads, this is the reason. We were at the wear sensor and we were basically dead. That's crazy what a new brake pad looks like compared to this old beat up thing we had on the car. No telling how long it lasted. I don't even know what pad it is, but new ones are going on and it's gonna be way better. We're back at the shop. We just went and picked up a roof rack for the X5. We're taking these roof racks off. They're kind of bulky, they're kind of big, and I'm not really feeling them. We're not gonna throw them away, not gonna do anything with them. We keep them for other activities. I'm not quite sure what we'll do with them if I've used them, but I'm going to try to not have to use them because I just think they're kind of in the way and, like I said, really tall, and I'm not really feeling the way they look. So we got a roof rack. It's actually in the car right now. Fit in there pretty well. It's not the biggest one. It's not really bulky. It's very slim. I think it'd be perfect for what we're trying to do. So let's go ahead and see how we can mount this thing on the car. We're getting all the lights wired up right now. We're doing a little bit of wiring, a little bit of soldering, a little bit of stuff here and there. We got the mounted on the roof rack. We have everything off of the top of the car so I can go ahead and make sure everything was good up top. Roof rack is going to be remounted. We have the wire for the roof rack running up the top to the roof. So here's our night light right here mounted on the roof rack. We gotta paint this again and get all these stickers off. It's a really nice flush mount. It seemed to fit pretty freaking good. I tried to get one that matched this and was the right size and all that stuff, so we definitely got all of that good. It's Justin's birthday beverage right there. They seem to fit very nice, look very slick, and it just fits really well. What we're doing here is we have the pods on the hood. So with the pods on the hood right here, we of course had to wire those in as well. What we do is we mounted them there, ran this wire all the way into here. We have inside of here, we have our relay, we have our fuse protection. We are going to get power from this jump support right here. We are grounded to the factory mount spot right there. And this wire is securely run up through here all the way into this guy, and he comes right out at the top. We'll have to kind of glue this down somewhere in here. I'm not quite sure how or where, but we'll get to that eventually. I just corrected this thing and I got fingerprints all over it, but that's perfectly fine. Let's go ahead and mount this roof rack and see how far we can get. Okay, so here we have the roof rack installed. GoPro mount on, light bar on, had some whistling noise, so we put this in here for temporary to eliminate the whistling noise. We got a fuel jug up here, we got a jack mounted up here, and just kind of giving it a little feel of what it's going to be like with everything on the top. Brackets look pretty decent. They're not my best work, but they're honest work and they hold it up very nicely. I think the thing looks pretty solid, It looks pretty good with the whole X5 vibe going on. It's giving it that overland vibe, and I think it looks freaking sick. I'm excited to try it out and see how everything works with it together. Probably taking the liquid moly sticker off. I just left it on because honestly I was being lazy. But yeah, guys, roof rack looks pretty freaking solid, and I'm digging it. So with that being said, we're gonna end this video here. Maintenance done, roof rack done, and a lot of things are happening to the X5. It's turning out to be a solid overlanding unit. I can't wait to start trying this thing out, see how it performs on the trail, and go through some rough spots with it, go through some technical spots, and kind of just get out there and see what it's all about, guys. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave me a like. If you didn't, leave me a dislike. I can't wait to show you guys what all we have planned, where all we're going with the X5, and what all we're going to be doing. It's freaking sick, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video. I hope it brought you some value and entertainment, and I can't wait for you to see the next one.